All right, everybody, welcome to another charting session. What's today's date? 8/19. And basically, what we're going to do is we're just going to review all of the top runners today. And there was a bunch of options play that we could have taken. Some of you may have missed it, but we're going to review them and see and how we can be more prepared to catch these moves and what are the signals or indicators that we could have identified prior to the move. So let's take a look. Top of my list right now that it wasn't even on our radar is Netflix. So let me know if you guys can see my screen.
See it?
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So right now we're on the daily. If we zoom in, as we can see, I did added the 20 to 50 and the 100 moving averages on my chart. So ignore the pink and the red. We're mainly focused on the blue. All right. So on Netflix, I mean, in this case, it was kind of a bearish looking based on the daily until it got above here. This guy right here would have been our entry signals to pay more attention. And of course, as we can see, the blue line SMA, the 20 SMA, starting to curl, and that's one of the identification for us to start looking on the bullish side. So in this case, all say 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row has stayed above. So on Netflix, if it was on your radar, we could have taken that position right here the moment this candle closed above the blue line. And we're also in a green cloud now. Another way to identify to figure out like where is it going to stop. I always try to figure out my support and resistance still. So resistance right here. But if we were to chart this on the Fibonacci, let me see here if I can pull it up. This one. So the fib, I guess, on this big move day, you could have charted either here, the previous run. I guess it was this one right here. So this little fib right here could have given you a breakout entry. So if you can see it right here, this was a breakout, right? So you could have taken that trade the moment it got above that 100, or even this fib right here, it was the same story. Let's see, I think this was the trend. So as you can see, it's very identical. You have a double confirmation there. So we could have taken that trade. Let's see here. Yeah, this would have been a great runner getting in right here. And then depending on how long you take the contract. So if you would have taken this contract for, 2 weeks out, you would have been paid still. So let's take a look at the option chain. Price target would have been, let's see, two fibs up. You go 1, 2. So price target would have been 537. Let's look at the option chain. 537, 2 weeks out. So that contract would have been this guy right here. Oh my God, that's deep in the money. So 535. Let's take a look at that. So what was it? What day would have that been? That was 8/16. What day was 8/16?
Monday.
It was a Monday. So if we look at the chart here on a Monday, right here. So Monday, you could have taken that contract anywhere at like $1.80. Let's just say $1.90. So $1.90 all the way up to freaking, oh my God, $17, guys. That's insane. Mind blowing,
Big
right?
moves. Big moves.
Big moves. If you would have taken that 2 weeks out, like even in the 2 weeks out.
Hmm.
Gosh dang, what is that percentage?
Crazy, crazy percentage. Crazy.
17.
17 to 180, 190, you said?
1740 minus, was it 17?
I think it was 17,
Is
yeah.
that even right? That's like gonna blow up your head. Can't even factor that in.
So just say $2 to 17.
Yes,
To make
two
it
dollars to
easy.
$17 to
That's like 900, almost 900%.
Yeah.
yeah, seven. Yeah, that's insane, right? And that's buying time. So anyway, identifying wise, what we're seeing is the basics. We already know all these, right? Being above the 20 SMA, curling, and then our signal, like literally our pattern, it did this, right? So it went from low to high, dipped back down, came up, and then tested, right? Tested, close above, right? It just repeats itself, and then now we have a shoot up. So our pattern is there. So we could have caught that. Um, I guess the best thing to do too is just any of this movers, just I see if you look on my left side right here, I added it on the list, and I just added all the options plays I can think of that I've looked at in the past, and then just go through them and look at the daily setup. Like this is how we're gonna catch these big moves, guys. Of course, the trend has to be in our favor.
Also, just add if you make like a separate watch list of all the movers that you know.
Hmm.
So you have Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, Amazon, Google.
Hmm.
Those are the ones that oh, and Square. Those are
Square.
and AMD. So those are the guys that always like move crazily once they get volume.
Okay.
Those were those five or six always going up.
Yeah, there you could probably make money and make a living out of just those
Yeah,
rotating back and forth. So what was that?
exactly.
Microsoft, Apple, AMD, Tesla, Square.
So, actually, Microsoft is a slow mover.
Oh,
He's
Microsoft.
yeah. It's just he it just has the perfect chart,
Yeah.
right? But the big movers are Nvidia, AMD, Square, Netflix, Amazon, Tesla.
Okay. Netflix, Amazon,
Tesla.
and then Tesla. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Look at Tesla. Look at Tesla. That was a
Make sure I write that down. Tesla, I don't think it's moved today.
Slid down today, so yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tesla.
Well,
But Tesla's a mover. It's starting to ascend. It's
yeah.
starting to form higher lows. So,
yeah.
all right, let's go down the list on the next one. It looks like Adobe was not even on my radar at all. On the daily, it doesn't. I mean, you can see right here, it freaking touched, right? So if you look at every time it touched the SMA, like get close, it just shoots up. Okay,
Adobe was actually my the first stock I ever traded because
really?
it always it has the same pattern for the past like 6 years now.
Yeah. So
I
as you can
started
see,
trading this when it's $100, which
oh
is
wow,
crazy
that is
because
insane.
Crazy.
like every day it's like the same. Every month it's the same. You get it engulfing at the 20 and it just goes up.
Yeah, that's a bullish engulfing right there. So we have a massive engulfing eight, like what, 5 candles, 6 candles?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I guess identifier is, when your daily meets the 20 SMA, like you could have, I guess that you would have not taken this because it's right and it's red, right? You would have waited for it to turn green. This was actually good because it was a gap down, right?
Yes.
This was a perfect setup.
So for something like this, where it's a bullish engulfing there, but it's also hit. It looks like a new high there for like tomorrow, or let's say this happened like on a Monday. Knowing that it's the right setup, it's above the cloud, it's touching the 20 SMA, but it's a new high. Do you treat that as like a still a long, or do you kind of wait to see how it plays out in the next few candles before trading.
Oh, that's why I couldn't go there.
So in this case, I would basically read it as like if you look at the behavior in the past, every time it's shot up about that distance,
Yeah,
it tend to pull back down. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
its range, that's what I'm trying to say. Its range is about maxed out.
yeah,
So yes, we are set up on the bull side, but expect a pullback because that's what it's done in the past. Every time it's gotten that far of a range, it'll do a pullback. Because technically,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
today, it got as high as here, right? And then it
Right.
started pulling back. So it did not even close above the 100 for you to even have a confirmation. So you have to wait till the next candle closes above, or depending on a 1 hour, what the 1 hour tomorrow looks like. Let's see if it's even bullish. But you should be cautious on this, especially on a Friday. If you do a lot of play on this, likely this is gonna pull back. Okay. So that would be my take on this. I'm not saying it's not gonna continue, but
Yeah,
with its behavior in the past, I would be more cautious, going long.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that if I look at it, it it grinds up, but looks like it's a patient grinder from a daily chart. It doesn't have any major like crazy moves really.
hmm
But
Correct.
you know,
Yeah, if we look at like how the behavior really on the day look like this is rare move, right? To grind that much. Because if you look at, let's say what the other daily did, look at that. That daily was nothing, and you have another one right here, same behavior. So it doesn't do it too often. So it likes to grind quite a bit. Besides, the rare moments like this, where it just shoots up continually. So on this guy, I would be more cautious on the long side, and I think I'd be more in favor to the short side, especially on a Friday. Like what Brian mentioned is Fridays are typically sell off. So that would be my take on it. So if you make a note, so that would be Adobe would be bearish. E. So I'll just make a note that I'm more short bias on that. Let's take a look. Go back to Netflix real quick again. Yeah, it'd be the same thing. I mean, you can see the behavior of its candles. It doesn't make
yeah,
that big of a move unless there's some like you kind of look at the news and see what the news really entails. But I wouldn't expect this to make another crazy move like what it did today.
right.
And plus, you're topping off at a resistance level right here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Nvidia. Nvidia.
Nvidia, you guys got paid on that one today.
Yeah, that was uh
And
that was pretty
Mars
good.
got paid.
I was in position on that. Because today was it tomorrow's expiration was the contract. I did get shaken off on that downturn, so I missed that move. Let's see. Could you have written this move? So how would you look at this one, Brian?
Um, just get the top, the green one, and no, not that one. Sorry.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Do
All the
here?
way to the very bottom, to the big moves. Yeah, there you go. And I just got it at 38.2 when it got above.
Yeah, the moment it got above, you would have taken that trade. So
Yeah, I posted it ASAP when I bought it too.
yeah. So in this case, what was your conviction to take that trade? I guess obviously you said close above the 38.2, but we're seeing the SMA, the 20 SMA above the price candles. Are
Oh,
you are you mainly looking at the cloud as a support area or
every time it touches the cloud, it's just like another support area.
okay.
Also, just playing. See, this is why you always play the same tickers, right? Just because you know how they move. Every time Nvidia like just keeps going down on the daily, eventually people are gonna pile on and buy it. Just remember, Nvidia is actually not worth $197. This just did the 4-1 split. Like this is like $1,000, like
Oh,
maybe
wow.
20 days ago, right? You see, there is this 4-1. Yeah, that means for every share you had, it
So
split 4
it did a
times.
split here.
Oh, it did a split right there. Yeah, back in June. Okay, yeah.
Yes. So Nvidia is a runner.
Mm.
Like they just run forever.
So right now
So
they just got cheaper to make it more affordable for everybody.
correct.
Uh-huh.
And Apple too, and Microsoft. Apple has split like 20 times. If
Yeah,
they didn't split, it would be $28,000 per share.
that's insane.
So yeah.
I think that's the same thing
So,
with Disney.
Hmm.
Disney split so many times.
Yeah.
Makes
So
Brian,
yeah,
sense.
my other question.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say my other question on this is like when we chart and we're planning for tomorrow's play for these options, when you guys are looking for a candle to close to decide to confirm your bias, whether it's short or long, are you looking at the hourly candle to close? Because obviously this is daily, so it's not gonna close until the end of the day. You're not waiting until tomorrow to make your trade, right?
No. So I so the way I lotto, if I lotto, is I'm using the daily chart and I'm banking on it going from daily to daily. That's
Mhm.
why it's a lotto. So it's a big move. The chart I charted yesterday was called ZS. Can you check ZS real quick? If it actually ripped today. So this one, right? It actually went up a little bit. If you look in the, here you go. So if this one actually gains momentum tomorrow, this will be a runner all the way up to 249. Because right here you already saw that it's been hammering, right? Go down some more. Go to the very bottom.
That's what this guy right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's where the trend started. And there you go. See, there you go. So my thing is, it's been holding that 61.8. So if it gets above 245 tomorrow, so I know for sure it's running to 249 because it
Yeah.
goes from fib to fib, right?
But when you're, I guess my question is when you're looking at that, like in the morning, if do you take the trade as soon as if your target is 245, do you hit the trade as soon as the price hits that, or you wait till like a candle closes at or above that price to make your entry?
It has to close above. The
Okay.
candle, the 5 minute candle has to close above. Can you look up Nvidia again today, TJ?
Yeah. So let me just answer the question real quick for share on this one. So you're asking when do you take the trade? So you'll
Right. Like, do
refer
you wait for like
refer
the
back to
candle,
your
like,
patterns. So your patterns, right? You had your patterns come up. So as you can see right here, it came up. It did retrace, right? Okay, and
right,
then it came back up and then pulled back down and closed right here, which is a close above the 61.8. That was the
right,
signal to buy. And your confirmation is you're above everything else, your cloud, your SMA, and all that. So you have a
right,
support, right? You could have gotten in right there, and your stop could have been if the next, let's say the next hour closes below the 21 or the 61.8, then you can be cautious of like, are you gonna stop out or are you gonna go with percentage stop out or just a fib stop out? So that's how I would read it,
yeah.
but you
So,
definitely got a
so
confirmation.
then tomorrow, if you were making this trade, you would wait to see where the 1 hour candle closes to make your decision, right?
Well,
Or do
for
you
me,
just wait for like a 15-minute or 5 minute candle to close?
so I'll show you. So if you can you pull up Nvidia really quick with the fibs up? Yeah. So I'm gonna zoom into the 5 minute. So I chart everything on the daily, right?
Right,
So once you get a green candle above the 5 minute in the second candle, that's when I started pinging everybody that I'm going long because now I can confirm that the buyers are here. So
Mm,
on that pullback, the red candle,
yep.
um, the next one.
Yeah, this one.
No, the next one.
This one right here.
No, 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 the fourth candle to the right.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
The one to the left. Sorry. So you have the hammer at the bottom at support, right?
Hmm.
That one. Okay, so now I know it closed above my support line. So on that pullback right there, I was already buying that.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
you're during the day you're using you're okay to use the 5 minute as long as the candle closes above wherever you set your support or your confirmation is. You're not waiting for an hourly candle to
No,
close.
no, because that would take way too long. You'd miss it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to understand because
Right.
on the scalping I do 15 and 5, but then when I go to option and I try to apply that, and I'm thinking if I'd apply the hourly or daily rate, that's way too long. So
It's
which, yeah. So
yeah.
but that
Well,
makes sense.
you have to remember when you guys are scalping the pennies, they move way faster, right? These guys doesn't move that fast. So you have time every time you buy like a contract. It doesn't like parabolic down or parabolic up. So
Hmm.
you have to just be patient and wait for the candles to close above your buy zone. And then once it closes above, you need to watch that candle, the next candle, and see if it's falling off or if it's holding, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you watch the 5 minute and then the next candle straight up turns red, then you're like, okay, obviously not gonna happen. I'm not buying it, right? But if here you see like it closed red but above, right? Because
Hmm.
if you're doing on demand, you're gonna notice if you're watching real time, you're gonna see if people are actually buying it, right? Because you're gonna
Yeah.
see it like bounce around the level. It's like going up and down. If it's just going straight down, no. But if you see people like buying in there, like it's touching it and then going up, touching it, going up, touching it, going up, that means you see people are actually buying that level. So that means you're gonna get it as well.
Hmm. So to go back to your question again is like what Brian said is once obviously you've identified this area as your area of support. It doesn't matter what timeline you're in, whether it's in 15 or in the 5. You're it closed above the fib, right? So if you're respecting the fib line as your entry, then you can get in above it. So even at this red candle, it was still above. You could have respected this wick as your stop because that's also below the fib line. If it turned red, you could go back and in and out of this trade if it dances around here, just so you catch this move, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I would look at it. Because even if you look at it in a 5 minute, it's the same thing. This candle, so this candle right here closed above,
Yeah.
and this candle closed above. So you had three candles of confirmation before taking the trade. This pullback would should have not scared you because it did not close below. And this is on a 5 minute, so that gives you more of a zoom in, like of the move. And then from there,
Right.
you could have either added every time it tried to not break below, and then ride that wave up.
Right.
So 50%, let's see, 50% off, 3/4, and then last quarter, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
So basically, just look at your buy zones,
Hmm.
right? If it rejects your buy zones and you see it like getting bought up, then it's also a signal for you to buy.
Yep. So in
Like
this
look at
case,
Microsoft. Actually, Microsoft was
Microsoft.
a good example today too. Look at this guy. We had these charted already, so
Oh, we
this
yeah, we
was like
had this planned out like the night, like we were texting and we're like, dude, if this, because we saw this right here, right? And we were
mhm,
saying if this gaps down to the freaking SMA, this would be a
Yeah.
perfect A plus setup.
right,
And
exactly.
and it happened exactly. It was like it's almost like a gift.
This
Like,
was a gift actually.
oh
It
my
gapped down
God.
to the 38.2 and all you had to do was wait for a 5 minute candle to close above 38.2.
Yeah, so
That's
30.2,
it.
like you would have not missed too much on this. Let's say in a 15. Let's say you're scalping this and you're doing a 15. Like, look at this. This guy right here. This guy was your entry. A pull back to the SMA was still like, it would have not stopped you out because you have the SMA right there. And then
Yeah.
boom. The only thing I would have been probably would have missed the move for me. Probably if I wasn't too patient enough is right at the cloud here. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would probably like scaled out. But other than that, that move was beautiful. But I guess, and just to as a reminder, so you catch all these moves, all your signals, right? Your SMA, and then you have what was the red one? This is a what is
10.
it? Oh, this is a 10.
Oh, wait, what red one?
Oh, that's the
Oh,
VWAP.
that might be your. Yeah,
That's the VWAP, the orange line.
yeah.
So yeah, all the indication says don't get out. You just hang on tight,
Hmm.
So that's another reminder that look at this. The moment it got above the cloud, like what Brian said too, when it breaks and crosses above clouds like this, it goes parabolic. Insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could have identified this. So I guess another thing we can do to really prepare and catch these moves is because you can see the pre-market, right? So you start
Yeah.
charting all these stocks and you look at the pre-market level, identifying your fib line on a daily, and then you zoom in and see where they're at, right? So if it looks like it's gonna go above the fib line, then go long. Of course, your indications still have to align. Like you got the hammer down here, you still have the hammer. You're above the 20 SMA, so that was your signal still. All right.
Hmm.
Let's see. That was a good one too. Google. Let's see what the daily Google was. Yeah, I would have probably missed this one. I mean, this
Yeah.
was right here, and then it gapped down. Yeah, it would have been a good place still. A gap
Well,
down
fib it from the left, the very, yeah, from,
from this guy.
yeah, all the way to the bottom. Yeah, there you go.
So I guess
So
another I want you
no,
to
no,
to kind of
no
explain
play
to
right
Brian
here. Yeah.
is some people get confused where to pull the fib. Can you go over that real quick?
So it's the high before the run up, basically, right? There, you can't fib the one on the high on the very right because it hasn't pulled back yet, right? It's still chopping around,
Yeah.
right? And that's like
And
an
there's
overall
really no
retracement.
trend too.
Yeah, there's no trend. It's just bouncing back and forth, right?
You want to have a clear indicate. You want to fib the clearest trend
Exactly.
play.
Yeah. So that's why. So this one technically, if if Google was going to pull back, it was going to 26.55. And here's the thing: if we're bearish tomorrow, like, can you check the futures right now?
Um,
Slash ES
slash
on like a
ES.
small chart, just on a small chart.
Oh.
Yeah, right here. All right, so we're already down $7, right? You see it.
-7. Yep.
All right, so if you zoom into the 5 minute right here on Google,
Oh.
so we know, so we know right now that it has to stay above 78.6, right?
hmm
But we know on the daily it's below it, and what we know is everything retraces back to 61.8, right?
hmm
And so what would happen is if you cross over the cloud on the 5 minute or the 1 hour, and it tests it and doesn't get back above, you're going put,
Yeah, you put
especially
down.
if SPY is red, and that would be like a gigantic payday for you.
So once it falls below 78.6, you go and put.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So you just look at the daily, right? And now you know where your target is. Look out below. There's literally no support until you see
Nothing.
until 26.55.
You have an air pocket, everything down here.
Mm-hmm.
Did a gap fill right here too. Okay.
And so like what we should start doing really is doing these sessions and like on demand, like a live trading session, so people can see like what we're seeing.
hmm
That would be really cool because like yeah, we can talk about it, but like if we do like a 5 minute candle play by play so we can see what we're seeing, because you're
hmm
gonna see it dip, right? You're gonna see it dip at support and you're gonna see it get rejected,
Yeah.
right?
And for you guys, you know, to really practice and cement this indicators in your head to make it more natural instinct, like go ahead and take advantage of the on demand. Like um, you can do that on your own time, but really apply what we talked about and go test it out. So that way you can build your confidence that everything that we just talked about, either it worked out or not worked out, and then factor in what was your ratio, what was your win rate, you know.
Yeah,
So,
and then do you want to see why it took SPY puts today, and just got out right away? You
oh,
can, you, we
I
can.
saw that. Like when you put that message, I was like, ah, if I wish I could take that trade on the 5 minute. So let's go over this one.
So
This was
yeah,
beautiful. So,
so you could actually see that this is technically like a bear flag, right? At one point of the day, this was a bear flag
mhm.
from the previous day, right? It's called a relief move because you don't go straight down forever, right? Like that. It gap down and then you have a relief move up, but it should technically go down some more. However, people bought it up because they don't want it to actually crater. So if you look at the hourly, right? What we know is when you get a hammer up going top, basically, right? When you get a hammer on an uptrend, that's a bearish candle. It's called a hanging man.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's called a hanging man.
Yep.
And so your trigger for puts is anything that goes below and your stop loss is above it.
Hmm.
And so when I saw it on the 5 minute, right? Can you just mark that? Can you just mark the bottom of that the hanging man? Just like put a line through it. Right there. So now just go look at the 5 minute. So you see how it broke below, right? And I already said if this tests this level and you get if and you get a hammer, right? Like a rejection line, that's your clue to really go short. You see it?
Yep. Just on a quick scalp right here.
No, not that one. The next one, because we finally broke below. To the right. Yeah,
To
right
the right.
there.
This guy.
Left.
This guy right here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, the big red candle. That
This
one.
guy.
It broke below, right?
Hmm.
To the right. Sorry.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. See that's how you always play it, right? You want a big red candle to like break below your level, and then you always want it to backtest. But you see, when it backtested, it couldn't even get above it.
Yep. This green one.
So that's when I started buying puts, right there.
So this the pattern basically exactly what he's explaining, guys, is he did the pattern here, right? He's identified this, came up, he start stepping down, and then tested. So he took that position there because you have a
Hmm.
resistance level, obviously, and he's already determined the candle patterns. So if you want to learn the candle patterns, you can look it up. So basically, look at this.
And that's
Start
where it
stepping
took
down.
it. The next one down. The big hammer. I was like, okay, the move's over.
Hmm.
It was like 30%.
Yeah, plus you're below the SMA now.
Yeah.
Like the moment this broke the SMA right here, like I
Hmm.
mean, if you look at the 15 minutes again, if you're scalping it, like he identified, what was it up here?
That's a bearish engulfing.
Hmm. That's the
I
bearish
don't know.
engulfing, exactly.
Yeah.
And you have another guy right here.
Yep.
Yeah,
But see, it works the same way on a daily, right? And that's how you identify
you got
your
bullish engulfing, right? And then you got bearish engulfing.
But that's the exact same way I take the trade on the daily. Um, and see, it's gonna be easier if today was like a better day, but today wasn't a good day to show you. It's like can you pull up MRNA? So that was supposed to be my entry right there. The one above,
This guy right here.
yeah, above that line. That was supposed to be the entry.
Yeah, because above the cloud or above the 38.2.
Yes. So my whole thing was if today we opened up green and you get above it, you would be taking the trade ASAP.
Taking the
But we
long side.
gapped down, right?
Hmm.
So there was no trade because it didn't trigger. So always know, like, if you're above the moving averages and above the cloud and you're at the buy zone, because we never want to buy stocks that's going down. Just put that in your head. If it's going down, it's getting killed. You're not buying it. You always want to buy it going up because it's already going up, right? Like you're not gonna guess if it's gonna bounce or not.
Yeah, it's already in your face.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you want to trade high probability setup. So high
Mhm.
probability, one of them is trading with the trend. So I still I'm still battling that because scalping, I'm always buying the dip and, hoping that it'll hold. So that's my habit I gotta break. But waiting for the setup, guys, based on everything that Brian is sharing with us, waiting for your setup, your high probability trade, you're gonna be most likely gonna be profitable.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see on the left. Just left some more. Yeah, right there. That's exactly it. To the right,
Hmm.
right of that, the green
This guy.
engulfing candle. Yeah, right there, right.
Yep.
The next day, it just close. It's like testing it, right, and it's above it, and so that's already your setup right there. If you zoom into the 5 minute, you will see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I mean, it's pretty far. Probably wouldn't get it, but
Yeah, it's pretty far out. Let's see. So it was right here. What day was that? 7/28. I have 90 days out, so actually let's do 15. Was that it? 7/8?
that.
No, that's not it. There it is.
So it was the next day, right?
Hmm.
Because we don't buy it going down.
Yep.
So that candle right there,
So your
when it
signal,
closed
your
above it,
signal is right here, basically.
perfect.
Yep.
It's because it's already going up, right? It's already above your buy zone. You're above the cloud. You're above the moving average, and that's how you catch those breakouts. Because you're not gonna catch it if the moving averages is pointing down. It's
Hmm.
like literally impossible. Because you're gonna have people like trading the moving averages, and every time they see it hit the moving averages, they're buying puts. But there's a lot of people, if you're above the moving average, they're buying, so that creates like a lot of buying pressure, and the shorts have to get out, and that's why it squeezes to the top.
Hmm. It's double fuel to the upside.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's basically what happened to Microsoft and Nvidia today. It was already super bullish, and then you cross above the cloud with the moving average, so it went parabolic.
Yep. All right, let's look at the daily. All right, let's go next one in line with CRM. CRM, let's see where we at here.
See, this one's a good one too, actually.
So we zoom out. So let's say the fib would have been this guy right here. Would you do that or this?
The bottom, yeah. There you go. So for a swing trade, you already know that any close above 253, you're gonna take it long,
Yeah,
right?
so you would have taken this trade right here. You got like
Mhm.
it's probably better too, right, Brian, if the SMA and it's the cloud is like so close together. So you would
Yeah,
have taken that trade.
you take it the next day. So that's your, we call that one your setup candle. So
Hmm.
what you want to do is you want to mark the top of that candle, so I can show you guys. Just put a line right there, right? Perfect. So now you just zoom into the 5 minute and then just find that line. See, there you go.
Over here.
Perfect. Now you have the blow up candle, and then you retested it, right?
Yep, perfect pullback too.
See, yeah, and so that's all you do. Once it goes back above, you just wait for it to come back, right?
Yeah, your
Right
pullback
there.
was right here.
Yeah, and that's how you're gonna hit those baggers,
Your
because now you know that.
yeah, your indicators right here too, bullish engulfing.
Mhm.
You have your bullish engulfing, so you basically like stock this setup and go, all right, if it's up, all my indicators appear, I'm taking it. And basically you're above VWAP, you're above SMA, above the cloud, like everything is in your favor, guys. This is so clear.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, you want to find reversal candles on the daily, and then if it gets above it with your moving averages going up, that's when you take it long.
Yeah, so another way you can look at this too, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. 25 minutes to find these plays, like
Right.
at the market open. Um, we don't have to be taking trades right at the open because like we gotta wait for our setups to appear. Like
Yeah, because like,
this is crazy right here.
yeah, look to your left if we're just trying to buy the dip, right? If you said like I want to buy the dip,
Oh, right here.
but your moving averages is to your left some more. Yeah, right here. Let's say that was my buy zone, but check it out, right?
Hmm.
It's pointing down.
Right.
So now all your job is just to find when it's gonna clear it above to the upside.
All your
Right?
indicators is against you if you go on long right here. Like although,
Exactly.
like what Brian is saying, this is the buy zone, right? Because it's above, but all your indicators is against you. All your indicators here is in your favor.
Exactly.
So that's a big, big difference.
Yep.
So
And
if
that's all I do. If you guys see my plays, that's like the same play every time. And then that's why you're like, wow, you're green again. I mean, yes, it will be red sometimes, like when market like has bad news, but most of the time it's like a really good setup. It's like a high probability setup.
mhm. So you could have made a lot of money on this run right here.
Yep.
Okay. And then the moment like you see like again on even on the put side, if you guys willing to play put, like look at all the setups here. All your signals is for you if you took a put positions here. I mean, right at the open, it was rejecting. It was rejecting the 20 SMA. I mean, this is beautiful. It's like, guys, you could see this. Just cruise around the charts, on your own time. Go look at it and just really internalize. Like, you can identify these setups, like beautiful setups. Look at this. Look at this setup. I mean, come on. All your signals. Here's the bullish engulfing right here, right above everything. Your setup appears freaking your confidence should be like 99%, you know.
And if it hits wrong, just get out. Don't
Yeah,
even wait around.
if it reverse, like just get out. Exactly.
Hmm.
Like, I guess that would be the other factor is your emotion is probably going to be 90% of your battle.
It is 90% your battle actually, but it works the same way too. By the way, if it breaks a fib to the downside,
Hmm.
you're going puts.
Yeah, it's
Like
showing right over here. It broke the fib.
no, go left some more. Like
Oh,
zoom
okay.
into the left. Yeah, you see this? Check it out. When it broke the blue line,
Right here.
yeah, there you go. With all your indicators going down, that was
Hmm.
that was clean puts.
Yep. So all your indicators are up here, and then it
Your
broke
fib
the
lines right
fib
there.
lines right there too. So it's always, I guess, as a reminder is to always draw your fib lines on the daily to see your
Mm-hmm.
bigger pictures and then identify your place on a zoom in.
Correct. Yeah. So now tomorrow, actually, this is a good this is a good training right here. So let's do like a shorter time frame Fibonacci.
Hmm.
Can
So
you clear that real quick?
yep.
So yeah, clear it.
So you'll do
Perfect.
here.
No, the red one, the red
Oh, the
line.
red one right here. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, right there. Because that's your 100 line, right?
Yep.
Because you still have your trace. So
Hmm.
now it's an easy play. Above 253.90, it's running to 257.68. That's it.
Yep.
So if you just
So wait for your setup to do this. That's your entry, and then two fibs up.
exactly. So like just go to the 5 minute really fast. You'll see it. But see, it's already doing it, right? It's below the moving average.
Hmm.
So now if your moving average and your candles is above it, easy. Easy play. It's like a play you take like 100% of the time.
Yeah. So I guess
Because
what
now you're
yeah, I guess what I'm seeing here too is you see all your indicators kind of starting to diverge to each other. That's even better. If this breaks to the upside is strong, breaks to the downside is weak.
mhm. So this is like an easy long tomorrow if it holds above the 253.90.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's say QQQ. Is this making sense for everybody so far, guys? Any confusion we need to clarify?
It's gonna take a while, I promise. But once you
Yeah.
get it, you'll get it.
Yeah, like
Like when I sit through it, honestly, when I sit through with you guys and we chart this, like it makes sense conceptually. It's when you're in the trade and then when I look at the setup, um, that's where I haven't felt a full conviction one way or another, even though I have the setup there, right? So, and maybe once we go through this, I'll share a few of the charts that I'm looking at, and maybe it's just because the things that I'm seeing are not clean setups, and maybe that's why it's causing me to think this way. But it'd be great to get you guys' input or feedback on that.
Just
But
pull
when
the chart up now so we can all look at it.
yeah,
Because most likely someone else is looking at it too.
yeah. So what were you playing and what was your thought process going through it, and then we can break it down on what would our thought process would be.
I have so for tomorrow I have ENSC charted on my screen.
Mm,
And I like picking. I specifically pick this because when I look at it, if I look at the history, like it's a it's a kind of a ugly, messy stock. But then today, it like as soon as it hit above the cloud and it crossed over the 20 SMA, like it shot up. Like it was that
Are we looking
it
at
was
the
that
same
move.
ticker?
ENSC, right?
Um, ENSC, yeah.
Like this
And
one, the one
then
you're looking at, it's like $4.36 or 30.
yeah, yeah. So this is not for option. This is more for like the scalping.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, this is
yeah,
TJ's thing.
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So in this case, chair is I wouldn't even pay attention to this because if you see highlight the volume, so the volume, so in this case, if you're playing like low float stocks, like
yeah,
we don't really pay attention. It doesn't matter what the pattern in the past. If they don't have the volume the day of, like
yeah,
it's not in play. It's not in play to me because it's like especially if you want to get in and out and use it as a scalp kind of move, like
yeah.
it's gonna be a slow grinder. Like if it doesn't show up
Can you go to
on the
the
scalp.
5 minute chart?
Hmm.
And then, so right there, right? Like all the charts that I've been studying, there's so many scenarios where as soon as it crosses this blue line, the
Hmm.
20 SMA, sometimes it's above the cloud, sometimes it's still in the cloud, but most of the scenarios it shoots up like it's doing right there. And then throughout the day, it's coming back down, it's consolidating. Like I don't really care about all these other stuff, but I'm trying to figure out like what's the best way to catch these moves, you know? Um, and so when I charted today, stock. When I charted this one for tomorrow, when I looked at it, it didn't look like it was a good play because after it shot up, everything's just consolidating even after hours. So I use that consolidation as support and resistance, and it's just grinding in between that. There's no volume, but then I don't know if that's the right read or not because sometimes in the morning pre-market it'll like shoot up again because these things are like just we know that these are just garbage stocks. But if we're scalping, we're trying to find that, trying to
Yeah.
get in that gap up, you know.
So this in this case, I would revert like this is gonna be a scalping. I would revert to like support and resistance. So you got your support right here. So likely I'd want this to come down to that support area and hold, especially after that big sell-off. You right? So
Right?
I'd want that price to come down right here, right? And then hold or go sideways. Based on the behavior, there's a lot of consolidation on the left, right?
Yeah,
And then pop back up. But another thing you have to look at is the behavior. The behavior of it, like look at this yesterday, no volume, no
yeah,
volume, right? You
right,
want what
right.
you want to do if you want to follow through in a continuation, you want to see the volume stick around, right? A
Mm,
good example would be MRIN. Look at the volume if you go out multiple days, right? The volume like remain. The
Yeah.
volume like there is play here. So let's go back out an hour. Look at okay, so this is a good example. Oh, hang on. Like look at the previous behavior of the volumes. Like do you see any volumes over here? Nothing.
No.
And look at where the volume showed up and look at where the chart is. So let's say
Right.
you saw it right here, right? Or even like right here, but the whole entire move, you see the volume, right? And then right when
Yeah.
it starts dying, like this is why I always say pay attention to the volume. Look at the volume fade. The volume spike pattern is right here,
Yeah.
right? After you hit this, look at this. This was your prime short area. It told you there was no volume right here,
Right.
right? The volume happened in this little triangle area, and then on the run up, like you could have been scaling out already. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's like listening to like other podcasts too. Like the big players buy up right here and then they start selling the remaining. Like this is the like beyond this is the chasers and the this short sellers getting too antsy and then they use this move to sell off because they're whales, right? Whales make these
Right.
kind of moves. If you listen to the PGIR podcast, which is I'm gonna refer that real quick and their resources. Um, oh, I'm not sharing my screen, but yeah, you go under resources and you go under listen to podcast. It's
Mhm.
the third one down. Oh, the first one. Yeah, I put it right in the first one. So those guys talk a lot about market manipulations and how the whales play these small caps because they're literally this is all they do. The pattern, what they do right here, is like textbook. Once you listen to it over and over, you're like, oh, that's what this is. This is what they do, and that's their behavior. But volume plays a lot on these kind of scalps. So going back
Right.
to ENSC, SC, like there's nothing here. Like it had to play here, but what you want to see the following day tomorrow, you want this guy to
Yeah.
show up on your volume scanner. And this is
Right.
why I always post the pre-market gainers with the volume above 500,000
Yeah.
because that indicates there's players that are moving this thing up, right? So in this case, if you're gonna scalp this, use that line as your support area. Yeah, other than that, I feel like this is just gonna go sideways or slowly die out without
Yeah.
volume.
Yeah, and that's why I picked that one because that's what I saw too. It's just like consolidation there, but wanted to get your thoughts because some of these, I mean, like this volume is like crazy. When volume's there, it has these spikes, but like you said, all the days previously there was nothing there. So I guess if you're looking at that, you saw that spike, you would just essentially look at it and say it's too risky. It's not consistent enough for me to even try to make a play on this. Is that how you would be reading that based on what we just saw?
Well, everything, like let's say this day of opening, right? What do you
Right.
see that's gonna tell you, like if I'm scalping this or even just taking the trade in general, what do you
Right.
see that's telling you to take the trade? Because I see it clearly.
So again, so right here, like if I look at the day before, it's hindsight, so it makes
No,
sense.
just
Like
look at this. Let's say the chart doesn't
so if I'm charting for tomorrow right
right here.
now, like if I were to
This is all you see right here
yeah.
on the right side, the very right side.
So if
That's all you
it
see.
closes right there, then I say it's above the clouds above the SMA. And well, I would probably have to draw my fib to see if it's like usually I go in at like between the like 78 and the 100 line. So if it's above that and it's within that range, then I take the trade.
Okay. So in this case, what I see here is a clear breakout. So you got your 100 line, you draw it out, and look what's
Right.
everything that's in your favor is you got a bullish engulfing, right? The moment
Yeah.
this candle got eaten up, I would have taken that trade. You're above SMA, you're above the VWAP, or not the
Right.
VWAP, but you're above the cloud, right? That was your signals. You got a bullish
Right.
engulfing, you get above the VWAP or above the SMA, and you're above the cloud. Like you taking this trade was first fib, right? I would say 100, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, and it went up to 2618. So you could have
But
you could have caught that move.
but here's the thing: with stocks like these, you don't really know when volume's coming in until the day off.
Hmm.
So there's
That's yeah. Yeah. That's I think that's where I was trying. I was kind of getting at too, right? Because like it's not like we can really plan these the night before, and if we do it, like say for today, we looked at what it happened, like what it did today in preparation for tomorrow. It's not a guarantee because, like you just said, TJ, like all the volume faded already, so it's hard to tell if that will show back up again in the morning or not. Obviously, I charted to see if that'll happen just to play it out, but it just seems like if I look further back to the left like we usually do, there's just nothing there because everything is just like grinding for a long time. And all of a sudden it just pops up, right?
Yeah. And
right.
in a small cap world, there's so many stocks to play. Like you don't need to pay attention to the ones that doesn't have volumes. Yeah, you might miss a move that popped up with no volume, but at the end of the day, there's so many other plays that show up in the scanner. If you're gonna be focused on the low caps or low float stocks, like the, this doesn't even show up on day traders' radars. You gotta go with what everybody's looking at, you know. But as far as the setup is there with all our indicators. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's see. It's 10 o'clock, guys. Let's wrap it up. We pretty much went over the top five of today. But do you have any stocks that you have in mind that you guys want to throw in here and we can all analyze it and break it down what your thought process is and let's see if that's gonna be in favor.
Um, can you check TJ Maxx, TJX?
Uh, DJX.
There you go. It's a good one. It's too far, but looks like this guy wants to break out.
Yeah, so your trade would be somewhere this guy in
Yeah.
here.
Yep. That's it.
There you
So
go.
it can push up to 74.
161.
Oh, that's not big enough of a range. How about Costco? COST.
Gapped up today too, I think. Costco.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Costco. Costco's literally
Ooh,
super
wow.
runner. Yeah.
Look, Brian, we like charted this. We
I
told we
know.
wanted to pull down because we're that day
Yeah.
tripping right there. I think that
Hmm.
was on the 1 hour. So yeah, you drew it right down right to it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
don't sleep
Cos
on this guy.
Costco. I mean, how do you even chart this guy? Because he got such a grinder.
You can't chart Costco. This is a swing trade.
Yeah,
Like it's
it's like
impossible.
where do
Yeah.
you
Okay.
pull? Like you pull from
That's
here
a
all the way down here.
that's a bad one.
That's
Okay.
that's far. I think it's right here actually. I can see it now. From this guy to this guy right here.
Yeah. It's weird.
That's the best
It's
way
not even.
I could chart it.
Mhm. Oh, there you go. AMD. AMD didn't run today, but Nvidia did. So it's gonna get a relief tomorrow.
On Nvidia or AMD?
AMD.
So
Nvidia ran up and AMD didn't. So
oh,
here
right.
we are.
Kind of like a follow-up.
Yeah. Because whatever the largest cap does, little brother has to do it too.
Ooh, this
Perfect.
would be a good play.
To the red.
Oh, to that down
To the red
this
one.
guy.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough. Here you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. Right? So your buy zone is the 106.93.
You got to get above
93.
here. So your pattern
Right.
has to appear. So you got your down, you got your up, and then pull back, and then shoot up.
Right. So if you look at the 5 minute, we'll really see how it really looks, right? See, there you go. Right now it's flat. right? But if you think about it, if it gets above the 106, it
Hmm.
might not happen tomorrow. It might happen on Monday, right?
Hmm.
But you're clear to go. The only reason I don't think it's gonna happen tomorrow is because it's still so far from 106, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking tomorrow is we get to 106 and it does nothing. It just chills.
Yeah.
So on Monday, you just go long.
So the
But
other indicators too, I can see again, guys, like focus on this. Like look how close the cloud and all your indicators. This is a divergence, right?
mhm,
Whenever they compress like this, it's gonna pop up or down,
right.
right? So you have to wait which way it breaks up.
So really, to make it easier for you, if you just fib everything and then you want to see the things that the closest at the end of the day closest to the fib. So that's how you know it's ready or not.
Like this is literally a squeeze right now. It's
Yeah.
got to break to one side or the other.
Hmm.
And then wherever that side breaks, is that's the position you're gonna take, whether it be short or long.
Yep.
Like this is such a perfect setup right here.
Yeah. Um. How about?
'Cause- Okay, I'm gonna show a few more examples. Like look at when all your indicators diverge to each other. It's so eerie that it's so clear. Okay, look at that above everything. Boom. Like this is midday or actually late morning. Late morning. You guys starting to see this? Okay, here's another one. Beautiful. Beautiful setup. Divergence right there. Broke on the downside hard. Whenever your indicators like compresses to each other, oh my God. Look at that, guys. You guys seeing this, right? Are you getting excited every time you see these patterns?
Hell yeah, especially on the downside. Remember, downside happens faster than the upside.
Yep.
But yeah, so basically your job really every night is chart your fibs and find the ones that are closest to the buy zone. Like AMD is still far from the buy zone, so I wouldn't touch that. CRM is close to the buy zone, so I would look at CRM first tomorrow. Right? It closed really close to the buy zone.
Hmm.
So right now the moving average is pointing down, but you know that if it gets above 253, now the moving average is pointing up, right? So that's gonna be first in your list. Like compare that to AMD, it's almost a no brainer because AMD closed towards the bottom of the buy zone,
Hmm.
but this one's closing it closer to the top of the buy zone.
Yep.
So if there's anyone to run, it's
It'd be this guy.
CRM, and you also have Netflix, right? That's like close to the buy zone. So if you just pull out the the hourly chart on Netflix, perfect. So
Pulled
now
it up.
just chart that. Cool. So right now, if it we can totally see that it retraced to the 78.6. So
Yeah.
now you're so close to the 100 line, right? It's like 543. Now it's going to 5. If it opens above 548, you know it's going to start pushing towards 565, 555.
Yep.
Because you close to your buy zone. But if let's say this close in like the middle of it, then you don't know, right? Because you're not sure. So that's why you guys need to look for.
Look at these guys.
And by the way, Netflix is one of those stocks that when it starts running, it runs. So don't be surprised if this is another $1,000, 1,000% or tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this was 1,000% today. You can look at the option chain.
What would price target be? I guess it's
555.
555.
Mm-hmm.
So 555.
The 1 day out.
The 1 day out.
Lotto.
So 555. Look at this guy. So this went from 12 cents all the way to $2.38.
Yeah.
So what is that? 238, 238 minus 12.
I don't know. I saw a bunch of people posting like 1,500% profits. So
This is a 1800%.
yeah, yeah.
Who wants to make 1800% on their money, huh?
And honestly, we can show you on a different day. But I showed TJ yesterday where it says layout. Can you just click it, TJ? So we briefly show them. Where it says layout beta open interest
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see.
right there,
Right here.
and then click on the Theo mark price. Perfect. And so where it says Theo mark price on the right side, top left,
Top left.
left some more,
This one.
left more. Keep going. Up one to the right, right one. Yeah, there you go. Click it. See, tomorrow's the 20th, right?
Oh, right, right. So change that to 20th.
Tomorrow, yep. Change it to 20th. And then right now it's at 543, so we're gonna say it's gonna go up $12 because we think it's going to 555. Hit enter. There you go. So now you guys see the option chain. The 555 would turn. Oh well,
Yep.
that's
1051.
yeah. So that's if the next week out contracts you buy it at 5,
Oh,
it
if
will
you
turn
go,
to 551.
if you go the one
But if
day,
it's the 0 day,
the option,
right?
lotto. Ooh,
So it will go to $1 to 764 if it actually
700
happened.
percenter. That's a
Hmm
700 percenter, guys.
So that's what you have to just look at, I guess. So use that tool to find out how much you're gonna make if a swing happens,
Hmm
right? And that's how you also know how much you're gonna lose if you actually get stopped out.
So you can YOLO like $1,000 and you can make 7 grand.
So that's how you look at it. I use it for the 60 days out, just so I know. Like if I just say like Netflix is going to, can you chart the larger chain on Netflix? So can you clear it all? Yeah. And then just pull from the top of the red, yep, to the very bottom green. Perfect. So here we go. So it actually aligns, right? Tomorrow it says it can go to 555 for 557.
Hmm
So that's actually a good play, right?
That's actually a good play.
So if now that you're above this crazy buy zone, and if I'm trying to swing trade this, so my price target is 127, right? So what's 127? Like 570, 580, 580, 575. So now I'll just go look at the option chain, and then I'll do 56 days out, and I'll do 570 calls,
There you go.
right? And then I'll say that it's gonna hit by next week. So can you adjust the date to like 8/26? And then it's up $30.
$3.
30,
30.
30.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Enter.
Yep.
Oh, did it do it?
Yeah.
There you go.
570.
So the 570 would turn into almost double.
100%.
Yeah. Almost like 80, 85, 80%.
Hmm
Yeah. So that's how you can see how much you're actually gonna make, right? And so if you had your stop loss, if you say your stop loss was like -$3, you'll also see that you're gonna lose. The price would be like whatever it is that it says on the left side.
Oh,
So that's how you can.
wait, where you seeing that at? This guy?
Uh, no. Can you go back to Theo price again?
Okay.
Click the button, the other one.
Okay.
Oh, not that one. To the
This one.
right of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you say your stop loss is -$5, so just do -5.
Oh,
Do
minus
minus.
five.
Yeah. Enter. Perfect. There you go. So now you can see that if you get stopped out, right? You buy it at 14. If you get minus $5, it would be worth 11.
Wow, this is a good tool, guys.
So now you can see like, oh, okay, well, if I lose, I'm gonna lose $300 if I get stopped out. But if I win, I'm gonna make like 100%. So keep that tool in mind. It's super helpful when you're trying to swing these contracts.
Yeah, this is a really good tool. So that way you can kind of identify how much are you willing to lose and how much are you gonna make. So your risk reward ratio is factored in already.
Correct. So before every
That
trade,
was that was the old price mark under the layout.
yes,
Okay.
This guy. And
yeah,
then you adjusted the timeline. You basically projecting how far out.
correct. So yeah, before you take any of your swings the night before, you're gonna establish what strike you're gonna get, how much it's gonna go up, and what happens if it goes down. And so now you know, like, because now you have no emotions. You're like, oh, okay, if it's wrong, I'm gonna lose like $300. But if I hold all the way, I'm gonna make like 100%. So if you start thinking that way, there's gonna be no emotions in that trade because you're already prepared to lose that $300. But if you're right, then perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
Very cool.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Lotto Friday. Make sure you review your trades for the options, and then as far as the stock scalping side or sci-fi strategies, we don't find that out till pre-market
Yeah.
scans are giving us their plays.
Yep. So if you had to lotto something tomorrow, it's CRM or Netflix.
Yep. CRM or Netflix. I got it down.
Mm-hmm. All
Okay.
right.
All
Cool.
right, guys.
Oh,
Have a good night, and
Have a
we'll
good
see you
night.
guys tomorrow.
good night, everyone.
All right. See ya.
Later.